I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3 on 3 podcast. That's right. You're tuned into the number one basketball podcast in the universe. I'm joined with my guys, my compadres, my amigos. You got your boy Evan with me. Also, my boy Lou. What's up, Lou? And we have the Pod Mamba who is in the background producing us effortlessly, flawlessly, making sure that we continue to be that number one NBA podcast in the universe. I'm back, y'all. Thank you so much, fellas, for holding the fort down while I
Yes,
was
sir.
gone.
Yes, sir.
I won't get into all the Portland slander, slumlord talk that was spoken,
Just saying.
and how Pod Mamba just threw some shade because I didn't make his birthday episode, so I'll put it on there. Happy birthday, Pod Mamba. Sorry I missed it, brother. Legitimately sick. Legitimately sick. So, but appreciate you guys holding me down and being awesome teammates. And I know the show was excellent. I listened to it. It was a great episode. I was like, dang, they really don't need me. They sound real good. It was a good episode, man. I enjoyed listening. It was great. It was great.
Of course, man.
Put
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, man. Yo, man, it's good without you, but it's great with you. So that we happy to have you back, man. Yo, it's never the same when all of us are together. So let's get it. Let's get it. Especially as we got some great topics coming on with these playoffs.
We might could drop 43 for one game, Hans, but we need you for the series. That's all I'm saying.
Appreciate y'all, man. We're a good team. We need each other. All right, fellas, let's jump into it, man. We're gonna be talking about what's going on with these playoffs. It's just so much. There's so much to go into. Let's lead off with segment one, man. We have some major injuries that occurred between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets game. So Ant has been diagnosed with a bone bruise and hyperextension, and he will miss multiple weeks, which basically essentially means he will not be playing for the duration of this series. And then on the same on the same team, you have White Dante, as we affectionately call him, Dante DiVincenzo, who ruptured his Achilles, man. That's tough. So you already know. Well, I don't know because Tatum came back early, so maybe we'll see him next. Maybe he'll be back for the next series. The way these injuries are speeding up, these healing, man.
Hold up. Just like we talked about in the last segment, and that's like the last episode. We don't know if White Dante has that tier of money, right?
You're right.
There's grades to doctor access you have. All
You're
right.
right. You're right.
I'm sure he probably gets the great, the great doctor. But with that elite one, you know what I mean? Where you gotta know a guy, you know what I mean?
Who knows a guy? Who knows another guy?
Word.
You got to know the guy in Tobago that replaces Achilles, not Trinidad. He's in Tobago only, and I don't think White Dante has access to that.
Yeah, you fly in, then you take the boat. You know what I mean? Like, it's private access.
He still may be stateside for his consultation, whereas Luka's going to Spain and seeking certain treatments outside over there. So I get it. So yeah, so Dante's out, who's been a spark for them, and of course we already know what Ant brings to the table. But yet and still, though, the Wolves pulled out that game. It was close, but then they pulled away. Honestly, after Ant was out, was that third quarter Ant went down after Dante, and the Wolves still kept on going and pulled out the win. And right now it's a 3-1 series. So I'll start off with you, Ev. How devastating are these two injuries to the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Well, I think they're borderline catastrophic when you look at it from a big picture standpoint. I think Shams came in the morning and said he'll be out multiple weeks, so you're looking at best midway through the second round, right? Um, when you look at Game 4, Io, like I said, coming in and dropping 43 points, the only player on the team that surpassed 20 points in a win like this. Big picture, I say borderline catastrophic, right? For this series, though, you've got 3 shots at getting one victory, right? And what Minnesota can hang its hat on is they have figured out to this point how to contain Jokic in a way I don't think we've seen in a 4 game stretch in probably the last 7, 8 years. Um, and this goes back to the familiarity between the two teams. Minnesota feels like they can out physical and outmaneuver
That's
the
it.
Denver Nuggets.
That's it.
And not having Ant won't preclude them from potentially still being able to do so. Right. The defense, if the refs still allow them to play the defense that they've been able to play, you got to give Rudy credit. We
There
we
you go.
we get on him a lot. We get
That's
on him a
correct.
lot.
Yep.
But he made comments at the beginning of this series. Y'all forgetting I'm a 4-time defensive player of the year. He's
Mhm.
standing up to that. The team defense has been spectacular in this series. They've made not only Joker look. I'm saying things that I'm sure he's going to get back at me, but borderline pedestrian.
Yeah, looks like
They
a
made the
regular
rest
player.
of the team look underwhelming. Defensively, if they can continue to do that, they have 3 shots to get out of this series. But hearing Ant down though for multiple weeks, though, from a playoff standpoint, yeah, borderline catastrophic.
Yeah. Yep. Losing your leader on the floor, your leader of your team. Yeah, I mean, Rudy being able to play physical defense on Joker has really been able to help the the as best you can call it containment. But also we got to give credit to the Jaden McDaniels aspect of it, right? What he's been able to do in terms of on the defensive end as well. Not necessarily from an offensive perspective per se, but the AO situation. Shout out to the Bulls. He's not necessarily going to. Yeah, this is a lightning in a bottle, right? So you don't expect this to be something you can have long term. So yeah, getting down to White Dante and is major. Because who else is going to give you your offensive production? AO is able to do that with the other folks on the floor to be able to open up those opportunities. I mean, that game was really won in the second quarter. And then what Minnesota was able to do with their defensive capability, be able to maintain that throughout the rest of the game. And what I mean, to the fault of Denver, they do have to step up their defensive prowess on their end. It was being made known and exposed by Minnesota. And yeah, the name of the game is to keep it is the person who scores the most points wins the game. So what do? You try to keep the others from scoring while you continue to score.
You
And not
guys,
making it difficult for them on the defensive end, or rather for them on the offensive end, definitely played a role in why they weren't able to seal out this last win.
you guys are being too nice. You guys are being way too nice. I'm gonna call it what it is, bro. I've been on both sides of this, on the receiving end, and I've been the one giving it on the court as well. Um, Denver got punked, bro. They got bullied. Do you know? You guys know how it is. Street ball, right? Whenever you walk into a new court or a hood that you haven't been to for a while, what do you have to do? You have to assert your dominance. You got to let them know, like, y'all not about to push me around just because I'm not from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I step on this court, it is what it is. Denver got pushed around. They don't have that edge they once had. And to make matters worse, they are also not getting offensively production from people outside of Joker and Murray. So there's two things compounding. Now, what I will say is that Joker is going to be Joker, right? That's somebody you can count on. And honestly, this year Murray has been Murray, right? Hasn't had much injuries, has been consistent. It's up to the other guys to level up, bring their intensity, and yo, put some pride in the game. Which is why I think Joker did what he did at the end of that game to Jaden McDaniels. He did that on purpose, right? He did that on purpose.
Once he
Joker
fired up,
doesn't Joker doesn't really care about that, guys. Like that unwritten rule. He went there to make a message to his team, like, "Look, this is what I need from y'all. You guys
mhm,
are not upset about this.
yeah,
That
yeah,
just like, where's your pride? Where's your sense of respect on this court?" So, to your point, I think if you watch the game, even when Minnesota had that game in hand, they were still pressing them the full length of the court. I'm up 10 plus with less than a minute left, and I'm still pressing you the full length of the court.
yep.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, they were just trying to prove a point. You know what I mean, it was trying to prove, like you said, they exerting their dominance and
Well, and
trying to
that's how
say,
they got him 2 years ago.
yeah,
I mean, that's I think they unlocked that, and I think that's why Minnesota is so comfortable playing Denver. Is they know that their style of physical defense makes Denver uncomfortable, and when the refs allow them to maintain that the entirety of the game, when they're not in foul trouble, they have the upper hand on Denver from their part. I think that's also a part of Joker's frustration. That's why he got into it a little bit with Ant in that game too as well, is because a lot of teams, come into games with Denver with with the blueprint of, oh, we're gonna be physical with Joker, right? But they're not able to do it successfully. Minnesota has now proven in multiple playoffs, right, that we can do it successfully, right? Going back to the Rudy part, yes, Joker cooks them a lot, but they are comfortable maintaining their defensive discipline and identity with Denver and believing that they will get enough stops, enough touches on him, and definitely enough limitations of everybody else on the court to be successful.
But that's what
And
everybody else doesn't have, and you stated that.
exactly,
They have
exactly.
the ancillary defensive players to stop a Cam, to stop a Murray from getting the pass, to stop
to
Aaron
Brown.
Gordon from to Brown for from cutting to that dunker's position. They have those other defensive disciplined players to bolster that, because like you said, you're gonna take an L. Rudy's doing good by staying down, not going for the fakes, putting your hand up, and he has the length for him, which makes it a little bit difficult for Joker. But it's because of those other players staying down on the defense. It cuts off the passing lanes for Joker and allows him to be a strictly one-on-one player. But here's my question to you guys, though, right? You mentioned that Minnesota has been able to give that defensive intensity, but what's gotten them over the edge is the scoring from Ant and DiVincenzo. So we know that 9 times out of 10 they're going to bring the same defensive energy, but what are they going to do for the scoring? It can't all just be Randall.
Yeah,
Are they? Do they
that's
have enough to get one more, or
and that's where I this is I was mentioning before, like with losing them, what's the biggest piece of it is if Denver even slightly adjusts and turns up their defense, this series is wrapped up, because they're not gonna have enough fight. You're not gonna get another performance like this with AO. Randall. It depends what Randall shows up that night, right? And whether he's completely high all the way cold and forcing it. Rudy, we already know Rudy's not somebody that's gonna come out here and give you 35 points in the game. So what are you hoping for? You hoping McDaniels goes in and gives you a 35-point game? Who knows? So yeah, these injuries really make it. They don't bode well for Minnesota on the offensive end at all.
So heard, and it's not that I don't agree, right? It's going to be a challenge, but you named 5 different players. I'll throw Nas Reed in there as well. Now, yeah, we're not expecting the offensive explosion from Rudy, but the rest of those pieces that you named, that's why winning the other game 3-1 versus 2-2, tremendous difference. You've
Yeah.
got 3 shots for one of these, you got 3 shots for a collection of some of those players, right, to step up on one night enough while maintaining the defense to steal one from Denver. I look at it, you look at it kind of like the series that the winner of this team will be playing, right? The Spurs and the Blazers. We have Wemby go out game 2 with a concussion, nasty fall at that. Blazers pull out that game 2. You're in game 3. It's a tie ball game in the fourth quarter that easily could have went 2-1 Portland, right? They're going into game 4 trying to take a 3-1 lead of their own, but the Spurs, without their best player, able to get a run in the fourth quarter and pull out a game that they were on the verge of losing. I'm sorry, Hans, don't mean to bring this up. But
That Harper
it's
kid's a baller.
That boy
right,
Cash,
right.
bro.
It's
Castle and Harper,
right.
freaking ballers,
Oh
bro.
yeah, Harper for
So
sure.
so
Yep.
is that exact who in your 2 through 7 is going to step up enough with 3 games worth of preparation, right? To game plan and manufacture one victory. And it's almost in your favor if you pull it out in 6 or 7. And we don't know what Wemby's status is yet for game 4, but let that one play out a little bit, right? And you win a delayed series and you buy yourself a little time for Ant to possibly get back. So there could potentially you're looking for silver linings at this point when you lose an Anthony Edwards. But you're hopeful that this plays out at least in your favor, that you can win and buy yourself some time.
Yeah, and I would say the stark difference between those two is that San Antonio, Stefan Castle, Harper, Champagne has stepped up. Those players have proven throughout the season that they can win consistently without Wemby.
Yep.
Whereas when Ant was down, remember Minnesota was sliding, even to the point where they were playing contention for a bit until Ant came back and they started to move up in the standings. So, but like Ev said, they got 3 shots. 3 shots. So the odds are in their favor to squeak out one, but we'll see what happens, man. That series is to me. I hate that Ant and DiVincenzo went down because I would have loved to see them go blow for blow. Just because I think a point that Ev has made in multiple episodes before, in that this isn't the same Denver that we're used to.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't the same dominance Denver Nuggets that won the championship a couple years ago. This is something different, and it kind of makes you wonder what kind of retooling do they need to do if they don't get past this series or the next one. So
And you say retooling, right? You look at this team. This is Aaron Gordon now, critical component of their team. A lot of injuries stacking up now over the last couple years, right?
yep,
This is a Cam Johnson trade that you made, and has he been better than Michael Porter Jr.?
no,
I would say no, right? You
no,
got a Peyton Watson who out again, but did enough in a 4-week stretch in a weak free agent class. Although there may be somebody interesting we talk about later, but in a weak free agent class, it's gonna get him some good money, right? Denver may not be able to pay. And then outside of that, you got a list of journeymen behind him, right? This Denver team that we felt when they won that one championship, they're primed for 2 or 3 championships. Now they've been coming. They've been stuck on one for a minute. Do they have what it takes, or is it time to start looking at, hey, this setup is not getting us to where we want to be, especially with the teams that we're competing against. Joker's a guarantee. Murray had a great year finally, a year that he put the full year together, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I still think Joker's the only guarantee in this equation, especially if they bow out to a team in the first round, despite them losing Ant.
Yeah, man. A lot of questions for them to be answered, and Minnesota too. Minnesota too. They got some questions they need to have answered. All right, fellas. Let's move on to our next segment. So we talked about injuries, but now let's talk about teams that are dominating the series. Teams that are, no pun intended, by the way, on there. Teams that are in a commanding lead. Teams that, you know, it looks like they're gonna run away with the series. Let's talk about these Lakers, man. I'm stalling. I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about these Los Angeles Lakers, who I'll go ahead. I'll eat crow. I had them winning 2 games tops in this series. I had them winning 2 games. I said it on wax. I said it on air. I told Pop Mamba with my full chest leaning forward into the mic. I said, man, y'all got 2 games tops, and you're out of here, man. You're out of here. And look what happens. Look what happens. KD gets injured. LeBron does his thing. KD comes back. Doesn't matter because Sengun can't play defense. LeBron does his thing again. KD's injured again. Doesn't matter because these Rockets like to throw away games and make mistakes and can't hold on to the ball. And here we are, 3-0. I'll start off with you on this, Lou. What's going on with the Houston Rockets?
I would like them to be investigated. Their FanDuel accounts, DraftKings, Bet365s, monitor any of their bank account transfers in and or out. Because I cannot believe that they are laying down and allowing the Lakers to do this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, cool. Game one, I understand it. I understand it. You know what I mean? Hey, KD's out. You know, you guys, even though you guys said saying that you guys were preparing as if KD would not be playing. Nonetheless, cool. Kennard goes crazy. Let's say lightning in the bottle. But then you allow LeBron James to give you almost 30-point games back to back. Turning back like the hands of time. Sengun, I've been giving you all these praises for being a top center in the league. And you are being consistently exposed on the defensive end. Oh my goodness! Like what?
Talk to your boy, man.
Situational awareness, defensive in the gutter. Jabari Smith right there with him too. Don't think we don't got he for you. Udoka must be like kicking trash cans over and destroying the locker room because he's looking at it like what happened here? Where was this defensive identity that we built? And this is also where you miss somebody like Van Vliet, if you're gonna be honest, right? Somebody who can also be on the floor to help not only because now you have somebody who can do things on both sides of the floor, right? Somebody who can run your offense, can also give you some scoring opportunities, and also play defense. Thompson, obviously, probably their best defender, but this is looking out of sorts. Now you're giving more credence to this burner account that KD had. Like, come on.
I think you should hop on there again, man, and be
he may need to, man. But got to give credit to the Lakers for capitalizing on that. They're now they give. Hey, look, you know what, Luka, take all the time you need to rest. We got this. So Houston, man, is really disappointing for what we thought they could do. Me, like, you're not the only one eating crow. Like I thought they were going to get them out of here quite quickly, gentlemen sweep at best. But now it's looking like a very plausibly a full-blown sweep for the Lakers. on the Houston Rockets this season, and that would be quite disappointing.
You know what's funny? Since what? The beginning of the season, we were saying they need a point guard. They need a point guard. They need a point guard. They're winning. And there's some people saying, "Oh, maybe they don't need it." You know, they're okay. They got Kevin Durant, right? Who needs a point guard when you have Kevin Durant? Now we know why you need a point guard. When you're in the playoffs and possessions are fewer and every decision matters and can lead to a ripple effect, you see why this point guard position is needed. Ev, on the Lakers side, man, what do you think they need to do and keep going, man? What's your take on this Laker dominance? Did you see this coming?
So if you're gonna ask it to me from that lens, I have to go back and give Pod Mamba full credit as well, albeit as biased, judgmental we may be from a host standpoint on the Lakers standpoint. We're still big on the West Coast because the Pod Mamba makes sure that we stay. He keeps us Laker balanced, okay? And I'm gonna call it as it is. The Pod Mamba scolded us. What was this? 2 weeks ago, scolded us thoroughly for saying that the Lakers had no chance in this series. That we only spent a couple minutes talking about the Lakers' chance in this
Yeah, man.
Oh, this
series.
is killing me.
I gotta give him credit. Pod Mamba said, "What are we doing?" Okay, I'm gonna say the words that Pod Mamba said. Pod Mamba said, "We are not serious podcasters
Not a serious
because
podcast.
we did not give the Lakers a chance in this series." And I gotta give him his credit because they've come out and they've dominated. I don't want to leave the Houston part fully. I'm gonna come back to them.
Yeah.
The Laker part first, though. Every aspect of what Houston is doing poorly, the Lakers are doing positively. And here's what I mean by that. You glossed over the Ime Udoka part, okay? JJ Redick is coaching his tail off
Mhm.
right now. All
Hey,
right. To be
give them
down
credit
both,
on that, bro.
give them credit. To be down both Luka and Austin, they are for them to retool around what LeBron does best, okay, at 41 years old, and get the most out of not just LeBron, Marcus Smart, the best he's looked in 4 years. Luke Kennard. I joked about how much he's been passed around, but who better to show Luke Kennard how to be a dead-eye, spot-up sniper, right, in clutch basketball situations than JJ Redick. He's basically the prodigal son that got brought
I was about
back
to
to
say that's his
JJ.
son, right?
That's his son, right? So I
so
got to
true.
give JJ credit. You got to give the front office credit. If we're going to talk about what Houston didn't do, right?
Mm.
And yes, we called it from the whole season. They had the whole season to address this point guard gap and did nothing to bring in a Luke Kennard the way that they have. You gotta give the Lakers credit, right? And so, and then come on, we gotta be honest, guys. We didn't expect this from LeBron.
HGH, bro.
It may be.
Yeah,
It may be.
I just
But
want them to test him for whatever they test PG for.
but
I'll say this. I expected this from LeBron. I didn't expect this from the Houston side. I thought, and maybe you're right, Ev. I thought Ime Udoka had a tight ship and had them so dialed in to where they'd be able to overcome the LeBron
Yeah,
heroics
facts.
and get at least one win.
so I'm gonna say this. You're gonna have to keep me on time here because
No, go ahead, man. We got
this
time.
Houston autopsy that I may have to end up doing here in a minute.
Listen, because it's gonna be a dead body if they don't
This
get it together, man.
exactly. Look,
It's gonna
On
be
the
a dead
last
body,
leg.
man.
I will say this, okay, and watching this game Friday and watching how this series was played out, it reaffirmed to me that the P word is undefeated. I'm not talking about that P word. I'm talking potential, okay? Potential
Oh, my
is
bad, my bad, my bad. Go ahead. Go
potential
ahead.
is undefeated. Lou asked me last week, is this a bigger long-term story about Houston or a short-term story about the Lakers? Long term for Houston, you are watching a collection of players that after a challenging series last year where we were like, well, they lost, but they should have arrived this year, they're showing they have not arrived yet. And when you talk about players that we've called untouchable, right? Amen Thompson, Shengun, right? We've compared Shengun to Jokic.
Call them
He's
baby Joker.
playing like we should be comparing him to Sabonis. And what I mean by that is
Come on
a
now.
rise, but once you get to a certain level, your overwhelming starts to turn to underwhelming,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're seeing from him. Amen Thompson, tremendous tremendous athletic feats, but in the clutch, not put together enough to make difference making plays. And then
Yeah.
I come back to
I
Udoka
give
as
him
well.
that for his youth, though. Thompson,
I
I give him a
understand.
little bit more
I
grace.
I
I give him a little bit
I
more grace
understand. I
because you
understand.
overachieved coming in, right? So it's just like you're okay. You shot and you showed a level that all right, cool. We see your ceiling,
Mhm.
but in terms of the guidance to be that, I don't think he
Yeah,
reached that
Yeah.
yet.
but at the same time, bro, at the same time, coaching matters. And Houston lost on multiple fronts, like F said it. They lost on hustle, effort, coaching. Like
Right.
you can't lose the game on that many fronts
Right.
and expect to win. Like
All
they
those fronts.
and
And your front office has failed you.
right, like
Right.
you're losing on so many fronts, and that's surprising to me, especially given the pedestal we've put Ime Udoka on, and how he's always turned, nothing into something, or always boost what the baseline is for his team. Right, he's always overachieved when it comes to his teams and where they end up. So yeah, bro, you can't lose on that many fronts.
Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all this. Now I'm gonna go down the other path. This the path we not talking about yet. Let's talk this KD part. I understand he was hurt, came back, hurt again. But when you talk dynamics, right? That we allowed this burner story to be a couple weeks story. We didn't definitively hear the impact that it's had on this team. But if I'm being irresponsible, this is we on the third team now where Kevin Durant was going to be the savior, and Kevin Durant's team is on the verge of flaming out in spectacular fashion. When does the blame 100% stick? I understand he had a great regular season, but
Uh,
from a cultural, and we say Ime Udoka was going to have his team tight, mentally prepared, ready, and whatnot. When does your best player on the team eroding that cultural fabric? When do we call this out?
Hmm.
I
you're
toss
not
that to
wrong.
you. Then I got a question.
Mhm.
You're not wrong. And I'll say this, and I don't want to say it. One of
Say
the
it in the mic
narratives,
if you don't want to say it, huh?
yeah, right, right. Step closer to the mic when you don't want to say it. One of the narratives that was being advertised for this series was the clash of these legends who have not played each other significantly since, Heatles OKC, right? And guys that are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers, one's in a GOAT competition, Katie in his own right to a certain extent as far as scoring, right? But I think when you get to the culture fit of it, and when you get to how players on the floor play around them, one of them distinctly makes their teammates better and the other one doesn't. And I think that's KD. I think that's going to be KD's Achilles heel. That's going to be the blemish or asterisk on his career, is that he sucks from the teams that he's in, and he doesn't make the players around him better. He doesn't empower them to be better. Whereas LeBron, he sucks away from a team in a different aspect, right? As far as assets and changing it around and disruption. But one thing you can say is he hits you where you need to go. He hits you in your pocket. He whatever you're great at, he makes you even better at it. You can say that. So I will acquiesce to that. That I don't think from what I've seen, KD makes his teammates better.
So you say that, so now I got to pose a question to you. We see what LeBron's doing at 41 years old, and you say you weren't surprised. I'm gonna say this exceeds what I thought he would be doing, especially what I thought this team would be doing. You got LeBron James at 41 years old, about to be a free agent. All throughout this year, we thought it was a foregone conclusion that his reign with the Lakers was over with. But you look at this now, LeBron James coming in as a free agent this summer. We've heard all the stories about Giannis, and we know he's going to be a trade topic this summer. And we see KD now on again his third team, albeit a great year. Something about him and the team, they underperform versus overperform. If you had to line up what it would take to get these three players right this summer, LeBron as a free agent, trading for Giannis, or potentially trading for a KD, what order would you put that in if you were a GM? I'm curious in y'all's thoughts on
Huh.
it. And while you think, I'm framing it from the standpoint of Giannis potentially you giving out the most assets, right?
Yeah.
For Giannis. But from what we've seen, what does gaining Giannis back leave your team with? And do you want to be in that position versus LeBron, where it's just money, versus a KD where I'm interested in what his trade value would be if the Rockets were like, we got to do something different this summer?
Well, I don't think I may disagree, but I don't think that KD has much longer after LeBron. So I probably would prioritize Giannis. If I can't get Giannis, then I can start to think about what my team looks like if we keep LeBron. KD would probably be the last out of the three that I would choose in terms of options.
Fact. To me, it depends on my window and how my team's constructed. If I'm with a team that's ready to win, i.e., like Knicks,
I'll make it easy for you, huh? You're the team behind you right now. How about that?
I'm Portland.
You're the Trailblazers of Portland.
If I'm the Portland Trail Blazers right now, LeBron makes the best sense. He's a point guard. We need a Drew's doing good. Drew's doing great. But we also led the league in turnovers, or we're like second most teams to turn the ball over because we needed a point guard. We didn't have Dame, right? Drew's good, don't get me wrong, but that's not his strong suit, right? I would take LeBron because he's gonna put Denny in the spots he needs to be, hit Dame where he needs to be. I'd go with LeBron because he augments our pieces that we need. Giannis, he makes sense for the most future, right? Who can be there after Dame's gone and everything like that. But if I'm trying to win right now, LeBron. Same thing if I were the Knicks. I'm going LeBron. Like,
So what's funny about that, and then I'm gonna throw you the same question with the team on your back, Lou. But I'll answer for the Knicks. I'm gonna say KD, but it's for the opposite of everything you just said. KD is not a leader. We've talked about this. And KD, I think the assets to get him much lower than Giannis. I know we're talking about, there have been Giannis rumors for the Knicks.
right.
From what I've seen this playoffs, I'd offer Mikal Bridges and Mikal Bridges only for Kevin
For
Durant.
KD?
For KD, that's it.
Mikal Bridges and
Mikal
Mikal Bridges
Bridges.
only?
All right, Mikal Bridges in the future first.
Hey yo, I'm not mad at it though. I ain't mad at it.
Sheesh.
If this team flames out the way it does,
Is it an injured KD? Like, what is that?
I mean, he's injured today. I mean,
You're right. You're not wrong.
He's injured today. But I think KD needs a team where there's a clear leader, where he can just show up, score baskets, and go home. Anything other than that, any expectation other than that, even to be the savior and the closer, um, I don't think KD with expectations can be trusted at this point. So that's the reason I go that route.
Or yeah, you're right. You're not wrong because every other team that he had great success at, he had a leading point guard, Russell Westbrook. Even in Brooklyn, they got close, Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not wrong. Phoenix, no dominant point guard because CP3 left, right? He was gone. Devin Booker is not your leading point guard.
Devin
KD
Booker.
needs a
Yeah.
leading. KD needs a who's about to get swept by the OKC Thunder. By the
Come
way, they're
on now.
down 0-3. And Dylan Brooks said that he got SGA game 4. Good luck with that.
Oh yeah, he gonna get him all right. He gonna get him 40 times probably. He'll get him 40 times.
All right,
Listen,
guys,
hey,
we're
hold
done.
on. Before you go,
Yeah.
don't hit the horn yet. Only because you brought this up. SGA is so cold that he scores on Dylan Brooks and laughs at him while scoring on him, bro. Like Dylan Brooks gets on everybody else's nerves. SGA cooks this man with a smile on his face, bro.
Yo, it's like
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this. Thank you.
Right. I'm gonna give you this fun 40, okay?
This
You
fun
gonna
40.
get this thrilling 37 real quick.
Oh man, like, yo, I couldn't
Right.
wait. Yeah,
That was
man.
at the free throw line. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Man. You
Like,
tricked the ref on that. Good
Like,
job.
y'all know Dylan. That's my guy, bro. That's my man.
Yo.
SGA probably the only one that has nothing bad to say about Dylan, bro. He's a good guy, you know.
He's a great guy. I
Have
look
fun playing
forward to
with him. I look
competing with
forward.
him.
So he gonna have him 40 times in game 4. That's what he gonna have.
Lou brings this up all the time. Dylan Brooks is KG, SGA's Tim Duncan. Can't get under his skin, man. I'm gonna give you this work. I'm gonna do it silently. I'm gonna look at you.
Say good job, buddy.
And you're gonna get this.
You almost got that one.
Almost got me there. All right, fellas, let's move on to our last topic. Surprise. Oh man, y'all killed me with that. Surprise. So these are the surprise series that we didn't see going the way that it did. We're shocked, we're dismayed, we're waiting to see what happens. And you know who we're gonna lead off with? These New York kids. I mean Knickerbockers.
You're gonna tell the story. You're gonna make me tell the story. Huh?
Nah, listen, man. Inside jokes. We gotta have stuff for ourselves, man. Catch our overtime segment. I'm just lying. There's no overtime segment.
Yo, did you
if you've been here from the beginning, you RIP to OT, man. You remember that. So the New York Knickerbockers, man, they're tied 2-2 with the Atlanta Trae Young-less Hawks, man. 2-2. They won another. Well, no, it wasn't close. They stepped on the Hawks' wings in this last game in the State Farm Arena and had a handled control over the game and reminded the Atlanta Hawks that they're in fact the 3 seed and that they're the 6 seed. But yeah, and still though, it's 2-2, baby. They tied. Yeah. They tied going back to the Garden. Surprise, man. Lou, I'll start off with you first because I know Ev got a lot to say.
Oh no, man. I'm just very quick. I'm giving Ev his full time to share his woes and hurts. All I was here to say is Atlanta has a new supervillain. You know what I mean? And it's by way of somebody near and dear to Hans's heart as a former Trailblazer and CJ McCollum.
Hey, man, former Trailblazer CJ McCollum, man.
Yo,
smooth dribble.
CJ McCollum.
He came in right in as
we don't remember that time there, man.
The new supervillain has arisen in Atlanta. So, Ev, man, how do you feel? How's it feeling Gotham City right now, man?
Oh, listen, we have them right where we want them to be. Let me.
Let me
get up out of here, man.
Let me explain.
Right where you want them.
Let me explain. All right. we talked, I think it was last week, and I said this was I spent the whole episode talking about how the Hawks would be a surprise, a challenging team in the first round. I just thought they'd be playing the Cavaliers. And then they pulled their shenanigans, right? The last day of the
because
season, they end up
Toronto.
playing us. So I absolutely expected this series to be where it is right now, especially for a couple of reasons. One, Knicks, Hawks fans, y'all hate us. I don't know why. We're just good people that like to travel and chant wherever we play. That's it.
Oh, come on,
Right.
man.
And
Come
two,
on now.
calm down, man. Listen, when you got
Come
fans,
on,
you got
Ev.
fans. All right.
Ev, you've been in the building, Ev. You already know how New
Listen,
York
man.
is. Listen,
So
you know how New York
buy
Knicks
more
fans
tickets,
get.
Atlanta. All right.
They're almost as
Hey,
bad as Laker
yo,
There's
fans.
so many people in the Atlanta metro area.
said
Okay,
buy
buy
more
more
tickets.
tickets.
Oh
All
my
You
right.
know
gosh.
Atlanta's a
But
transplant city. Come on, man.
man, listen, it would never happen in the garden. That's all I'm saying. But what I'm getting at is there's that, and there's also it's not a Knicks playoff series unless we blow a heartbreaking game. So when as it was reminded to me, trust me, I've gotten all the texts, okay? When
I know you
when the
have.
crowd started cheering and stood up and gave us a standing ovation at the end of the third quarter of game 2, it's like I knew what was about to happen. So it wasn't even surprising to me, okay? But this series, the Hawks have played 5 good quarters, but the series could also be over now. It could have been a 4-0 sweep. I'm okay with that. The challenge with the Knicks is we don't stay on the best version of ourselves consistently.
Play
And
down.
so we do. And so the things I wanted to see in game 4, I saw. I called from the beginning of the series. This is going to be a referendum series, a referendum playoffs on Cat. Cat figuring out who he is in this offense. We saw the versatility in game 4. And Atlanta doesn't have the centers to stop him from being a presence the whole game when he chooses to be.
Exactly.
The other part, equally as important, we pseudo cut bait on Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges played 20 minutes. Jordan Clarkson played 20 minutes. Alvarado played 20 minutes, 19 minutes. Mikal barely saw the court in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has to be that way. And he has to be okay with it because we're getting plus efforts out of everybody else, but we're getting negative efforts from him. And you just got to play your best guys to get through this series. And
For results.
that's what it's going to be. And so, yeah, it's best out of 3 now. Um, we just gotta be true to ourselves. We knew they were gonna hunt Brunson the whole series, but the defensive intensity that I saw in game 4, no fast break points until like the final 2 minutes of the game.
Josh
If we
Hart.
maintain that intensity, we'll be
Former
okay.
Blazer, by the way, Josh Hart.
Hey man, we all
I'll
play
say
somewhere.
Yeah.
this. You, the Knicks, are clearly far and away the more talented team. And I think it clicked on both sides for you guys in this last game in similar fashion to what we were talking about what Minnesota did to Denver. You guys did that to the Hawks in this game. I don't know what happened, what galvanized you guys. You would know more than me. And it's like you guys realize, well, hold on. We're more talented. Like, there's no way these games should be this close. We're more talented. We're better. We're the 3 seed. They're the 6. Like, and you came in there from the jump and then turned back since. And of course, it helped that Cat got a triple double and realized, bro, I low key should be the best center in the league most of the times or in the conversation and play to that. And to his credit, too, wasn't in crazy foul trouble, Ev.
Mhm.
Was it in crazy foul
I was
trouble?
gonna say,
Actually, since the first game he was, the second game on, he hasn't been in crazy foul trouble. So he's been improving it and finding himself. And it's like you said, man, once you guys realize to stop playing down to them and you lead the
Stop playing
energy,
with your food.
have them play up, man, you could tell there's a clear disparity between the two leagues. So I honestly think you guys are definitely going to win the series, but I do think it's going to be close just by the nature of this is a rivalry, whether you want to admit it or not, right? This is a rivalry. These two teams don't like each other. There's history. Knicks fans always fill up. They travel real well. But I think it's funny though, Ev. I think it's funny, man. Y'all brought in some reinforcements, man. Y'all got Spike to travel.
Listen, we had to bring
Fat
the.
Joe came to the game, man.
I saw that.
Clyde,
Yeah.
listen, man. Listen. Walt
Pat,
came
Starks,
through,
you
man.
know.
Yo,
Houston,
seeing
Howard
Pat,
was there.
seeing Pat
Yeah, yeah.
and Stark sitting next. I was like, wait.
We had
We in
to,
Atlanta or we in the Garden? What are
had to
they
bring the
doing
city
here?
out. Nice seats too. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Sell more tickets, man.
Wow.
We
Hey,
I
yo.
think
I was like, yo,
everybody
they're
realized.
matching hats. I was like, I'm pretty sure they got matching hats on right now.
Had to remind, like, everything that you're just saying. Like, come on, we are the best team in this series. Stop playing like we're not. Right? Make this mean something to you. All this petty stuff, all of this, behind the scenes backbiting and whatnot. Like, y'all are gonna derail what could be a promising season off of this.
Right.
Because you lose this series, like, heads roll,
100%.
right? And
Coaching, players,
right.
yeah.
And this isn't off of talent. This is off of execution and want to.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna lose a series off of execution and want to. And so the scary part about that, why I'm not, listen, I wasn't stressed about the series. I'll be honest with you, right? Being down 2-1, I wasn't stressed because I've seen enough of this. This doesn't surprise me. I had full expectation we would win game 4. But where we're at now, what we had to do, can we bring that same energy? Can I guarantee we're going to bring that same energy in both game 5 and game 6? That's the part that worries me. I can't guarantee that. And being in the playoffs, that shouldn't be a question.
And I'll say this before we move on to our next teams. That boy OG, to me, he's second most valuable after Brunson.
What was it, Reggie or the other one that said he's the OG of OGs, baby? Let's go.
Listen, he to me is the second most valuable after Brunson because he not only defends, he gives you a spark offensively when Brunson's tied down and getting double teamed. He's showing up where Cat can be wishy-washy sometimes. OG has been consistent and making timely plays. He's doing what you wanted Mikal to do, essentially. But yeah, that's my take on OG. So, all right, fellas, let's talk about the Magic and the Pistons. Hey, man, do we need to eat crow on these Magics? Listen, we do. I will, because I was flaming them for this blockbuster trade. Who goes to see Mickey Mouse anyway? That's the biggest thing over there. It's not the Magic. I thought they weren't going to make it past the play-in, and then Charlotte did what Charlotte does. Is Charlotte the new old Atlanta, by the way? Anyway, I wanted to say that in the last
they're
episode.
the same old Charlotte.
Yeah,
until they actually make it into the playoffs, they're the same old Charlotte.
That's that old Charlotte. But yeah, Orlando is up 2-1 against the Detroit Pistons, man. What are your thoughts on this? Is this a residue of Cade being gone, or is this Detroit's youth showing? What's your analysis on this? I'll start off with you, Lou, real quick.
Well, I mean, I see it kind of like, and I know I made this parallel before, kind of like how OKC was, right? OKC being the top seed of the conference, top seed in the league, but still a little bit not immature in terms of their experience playing at this level, right? Getting to this stage. They had great regular season, but the playoffs are different. and they don't have enough in terms of experience on their side to really be able to kind of help navigate getting through like the more getting through tighter games, getting through certain types of situations, and then realistically having them to be able to gel at the right time with Cade being there for those last couple games to kind of bring that momentum into the playoffs. Now they're trying to kind of find that footing back again. So and I think realistically on the other side, yeah, the Magic just wanted more. At least that's how they've been playing. Whatever low that Detroit's kind of found themselves in, they need to be able to snap out of it, and play with that same intensity. Because right now, the Magic, I don't know what it is. Maybe Paolo and the coach made up, but I didn't expect this at all. I thought this was going to be a quick series.
He's showing up. But
He
go ahead,
definitely is showing up.
Couple of things, because I got quite a few thoughts on this series. One, you mentioned how we've talked to Magic all year. Coming into the year, I thought they were a top 5 team in the East.
Everybody did.
Right. I mean, honestly, if you would have just fast forwarded from opening night of the season to now, and not knowing how the season played off, you would have told me, all right, this is the 4 or 5 matchup, Magic and Pistons. You would have told me that in October, this wouldn't have surprised me at all, right? I think from the Magic standpoint, they've had the defensive identity all year of this is who they should have been defensively. And I think when they got to the play in, they had a choice to make. Do we want to go home now and this season be a total failure? Or do we want to lock in and see what we can do? And to this point, they've locked in and they match up well with the Pistons, who they've played well this year. The one thing that the Magic can do is switch virtually 1 through 5. So what that does, that neutralizes your Pistons pick and roll. It neutralizes Cade can't hunt weaker matchups like he does most teams, because whether it's Suggs, Black, Bane, or any of the wings, the size advantage, the strength advantage isn't as glaring as with a lot of other teams that the Pistons play. Jalen Duren, as dominant as he's been this year, when he goes from Wendell Carter to Paolo to whoever else, it's not as glaring. So they can switch everything and force the ball out of Cade's hands without as much trapping, and force other players to have to make plays. And this has been what we were worried Detroit's Achilles heel would be. Who else outside of Cade can create their own shot? And they're not getting it to this point. And Orlando's finally hitting shots. They finally found some balance between Franz and Paolo that I feel like they have not had the entire year. So to this point, that's why this series is playing out as it's been. I don't think Detroit's done. I could easily see this one going 7. But yeah, Orlando. I mean, sometimes teams just take to the last minute to figure out who they're supposed to be, and I think that's what's happened here.
100%, because France, he's been injured, just getting back. Him dropping 17, Paulo playing like himself and playing up to the potential. He was dominant yesterday. Gave them to 25 and 12. And then Suggs too, man. Him dropping what was it, 15, and then Desmond Bain dropping 25. This is what you brought him here for. So to see them get competitive with them, I'm like, good for them. I didn't see it coming at all. Definitely wrote them off, because it was just injury after injury. They couldn't find it. They couldn't find their footing. The cartoons, like when you see people slip on ice and they just keep slipping and slipping and slipping.
Right.
They can't
That was
get their
them. That
footing.
was them the whole year.
And they finally found their footing. They finally found their stance, and it's playing out. So, I mean, it's a surprise, but I think it's a good surprise, because I think we're going to see a good series, and we're going to see really where Detroit's at. Where's their talent? Can they push through, and can they get through? So I really am. It's a pleasant surprise. I'm shocked, but it's a pleasant surprise. It turns into good basketball. So I'm all here for it. So definitely. Any last thoughts on anything else, guys, before we close? I know Lou left us a little early, man. He got tired of all this Orlando Magic talk, man.
Lou left because he thought we were actually going to talk about the Cavs and the Raptors. Don't worry, Lou, we're not going to. But Celtics Sixers, be interested if Embiid shows up in this series, and if Maxey and Edgecombe have what it takes to at least put some extension to this series before Tatum and Brown close the door on this. But shout out to Tatum for being back, man. Hopefully it's the Knicks playing them in the next round and we send them home quick. But at least for the first round, excited to see him in the playoffs, man, after what he went through.
I take my eyes off for 1 minute and Lou's not even in here. When did this happen? What the heck happened?
Listen, man. Lou said he's out. He's out of here, man. He's out of here, man. He got things to do, man. He's out of here.
All that Laker talk at the beginning made him sick. I think he had
man.
handle that.
Yeah.
Well, it's his fault for rooting for the Rockets. I told him Luke Kennard was gonna come back.
Since he's not here, I'll make an inside joke. Lou, if the Rockets get swept, go check on Cinnamon, okay?
Oh, here we go. And on that note, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate it as always. Check us out on our social medias. Interact with us. Let us know what you think. Check us out on YouTube as always. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace. What's up, guys? Thank you for listening to the 3on3 podcast. Please be sure to give the episode a thumbs up if you loved it. Hit that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that bell so that way you're notified every time we drop a new episode. Hit us up on our social media, guys. You can find us at the 3on3 podcast on IG and Twitter. If you want to give us any ideas or suggestions, shoot us an email at the 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys next time.